In our extension group, there was a question that was asked about hair color and hair extensions. So you mentioned about having to color the weft and worrying about porosity, and that's kind of how I answered the question a little bit in the group as well too. What is some of the advice you could give somebody who needs to color the weft?
I like to air at least a level lighter and probably a level warmer than what my target is. I like to put a little bit of warmth in there because I feel like even those neutrals can get a little drab just because there's that blue in there. And I find they tend to pull dark. So I only do demi-permanents, and I always air light and air warm because I can turn that down. I can't relight.
It's easier to tone down than it is to lift up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
What do you do with application, with saturation and timing?
I eyeball the timing, honestly. I don't like to walk away from them because I've seen them pull really quick.
Don't go to lunch.
No.
Come back and have black hair.
The most I've ever had to let anything sit was like 15 minutes. And even that was teetering on long. You definitely got to watch your saturation, especially if you're doing those double densities, because it's more hair than you think. So they can get splotchy. I'll even take a comb, like if I'm shadow rooting, and brush it through a little. And because it's going underneath, I'm okay with like a deep shadow on them.
So you're saying you got to make sure you really saturate. You got to really get in there.
Yeah, big time. I'll even do both sides. I'll paint one side and then flip it over and paint the other.
Do you lay it over a piece of foil, or what kind of backdrop do you use, or do you hang the hair when you're doing it?
If I'm doing the roots, I usually put it on a cart with like a towel, or like a really tight foil, just something to paint on that, like an old towel that, my boss is not going to be mad about me destroying with hair color.
Goes with the territory.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like I like the towels because I can clip them, so I know they're not going to move, and I get that nice solid surface. And then there's color on it, so like as long as you can have an idea of where the color is, if you flip them, you've got a little bit of color already getting you started for that other side.
Interesting.
Yeah, great advice.